What is a skilled trade you can get into right now? No technical trade school necessary. That will give you best of both worlds. And the worlds I'm talking about is be able to make 6 figures a year and saves people's lives. What trade am I talking about? So this is a trade that not a lot of people think about. And to be honest, I don't even think about this. It's one of those low-key trades that's just kind of hidden behind the walls, in the bushes. People aren't bragging about it on social media like a lineman or an ironworker or a welder. These guys, they kind of work behind the scenes, but they're a very, very, very important trade when it comes to the safety of both the building and the people that occupy that building. And this trade I'm talking about is becoming a sprinkler fitter. What is a sprinkler fitter and what do they do? Hi, my name is Austin. I'm a journeyman lineman by trade. Growing up, my dad, he's a union pipe fitter at one of the big lumber mills that I grew up next to in a town. I grew up in a logging town. I remember my dad was telling us boys, I got 4 brothers, and he always told us, you guys should become sprinkler fitters. Hey, you guys should get into a sprinkler fitter apprenticeship. Because the mill that he worked at, a paper mill, he said that sprinkler fitters were there all the time working, and he knew that it was a great trade to get into, a great career, especially union with the apprenticeship opportunities, the benefits, and all those sorts of things. He always told us that this would have been a great trade to get into. Now, for me, I want to pursue more of an adrenaline fuel type trade, so that's why I got into lineman trade. My other brothers, they went on their own paths and did construction and welding and whatever else they did. I came to realization that, man, becoming a sprinkler fitter is actually great. After doing a bunch of research, learning a lot more about the trade, how to get started, this is a great career opportunity for you that you can get started pretty quickly in and get into either a union apprenticeship or apprenticeship near you with a company that does fire protection services and start on a journey and build a career as a sprinkler fitter. Here, I'm gonna give you a 6-step quick guide on what it takes to become a sprinkler fitter. Step 1, we are going to tell you what is a sprinkler fitter and exactly what do they do. A sprinkler fitter is a skilled tradesperson who specializes in the installation, maintenance, and repair of a fire sprinkler systems in various buildings. Now, these systems are designed to automatically discharge water in case of a fire, helping to suppress or extinguish flames before they spread. Now, sprinkler fitters, they play a crucial role in ensuring that fire safety systems function properly, protecting lives and property. I tell you what, the next time you go into a commercial building or an industrial building or an apartment complex or a hotel or a grocery store, anywhere besides probably a residential home, you look up, you're gonna see little sprinklers, little sprinkler heads everywhere. Those are what I'm talking about. They're everywhere. They're in every building. They're in an apartment I'm in right now. Now, next time you go out, I'm just telling you, restaurant, it doesn't matter what building you go to, probably have sprinklers in them for fire suppression, fire protection. They're gonna have fire extinguishers. They're gonna have fire alarms. They're gonna have sprinklers for fire protection in case that building catches on fire. These things automatically help distinguish or suppress that fire before it spreads, causes more damage, or even causes, life-threatening injuries or even death to the people occupying that building. Now, sprinkler fitters, those are the individuals, those are the folks that are responsible for installing, maintaining, repairing, rebuilding those systems. They install the fire protection systems, they're reading blueprints, they're installing the pipe, the system components, they're testing and they're inspecting. There's a lot of compliance and codes and things like that these sprinklers have to be up to date each year, annually. They have to get inspected, they have to get tested, they have to get rebuilt. So fire sprinkler fitters, those are the individual or fire protection services in your area are the ones that are responsible for taking care of those things. I did not realize that this industry is so big. I started going down the rabbit hole of the fire protection industry, and it's so big. There's so much opportunity out there that I was like, man, this actually is a great industry to get into because, well, fire protection is always going to be a thing. no matter what. They're even starting to put, fire protection systems in like residential homes. So these tract homes that Taylor Morrison or Richmond American or whatever are building, they're having to start to implement fire protection inside those homes, whether that be a fire extinguisher or that be a fire protection system like a sprinkler system, or obviously homes and stuff that have fire alarms. That's a code that is most people have to be compliant with. But every building, I'm telling you, everywhere you go, you're gonna see the sprinkler heads everywhere. So that's what a sprinkler fitter is. That's what they do. They work on the pipes. They work on installing the sprinkler heads and installing the whole entire sprinkler fire protection system across the board. Now, you may be wondering, well, if this is such an important trade, how do I get started? So that leads me into step number 2. You may be wondering, do I need any education? Do I need certifications or those type of thing? For the bare minimum, like most other trades, you really only need a high school diploma or a GED, valid driver's license, and probably be able to pass a urine piss drug test. That's like the bare minimum. For the most part, you don't really need any sort of like certifications or a trade or tech school diploma type of deal to get started. Now, there are a few things that can help you, and I'll get into step 3. But as far as this education goes, really all you need is just diploma, a GED, and a valid driver's license, and be able to take a urine drug test, passing it, and you probably are good to go. Because when it comes down to it, man, there's always a need for people in the trades, especially the fire protection, sprinkler fitter trade. There's always a need for this, and it's a great career that no one really thinks about until your hotel or your apartment or whatever building catches on fire, and all of a sudden these sprinklers do their job to help suppress, put that fire out and save lives. That's when you realize that, holy crap, man, this trade is very, very, very important. So leads me into step number 3 that can help you, but is not necessarily right off the bat, is licenses or certifications. Now, there are a variety of like certifications, courses that you can enroll in, take, pay a little bit of money for to help you kind of get your foot in the door and get you going in the step in the right direction, make you a little bit more employable by employers who own a fire protection service, or even if you want to get into the union, which I'll talk about in a little bit, through like the NFPA or the CFPS or the ICC or the NICET. There are various programs, various courses, various certification programs that you can enroll and pay money to that will get you these certifications that can, make you a little bit more of a valuable employee upon hiring. Just like if you were to get into a lineman trade, or if you were to get into like the ironworkers or a welding trade, to have like your OSHA 10 or OSHA 30, or to have like your first aid CPR card, or to have certain welding certificates. These things help you getting started. They might give you, a foot in front of the person behind you, make you a little bit more of a better applicant when it comes to applying for an apprenticeship or for employment. Most of the time they're not necessary, but they can help you getting started. So you can look up a certification, literally type in fire sprinkler or sprinkler fitter certifications, and it'll pop up. On the first page on Google, it'll pop up right there for you. And you can do a little bit more research on those certifications if you want to pay the $100, $200, or $300 or however much it costs for some of those certifications. But they may be worth it to give you a better understanding of what this trade has to offer as far as learning and just getting a little bit more ahead of the person that's also applying for the same apprenticeship you are. Which leads me into step number 4, apprenticeships. So apprenticeship is going to be, my opinion, the best opportunity for you. There are many apprenticeships out there to become a sprinkler fitter. In the fire protection system industry, becoming an apprentice through just looking up fire protection services near you. There's going to be a lot of them that show up, in your area, because like I said, every building you go into, hotels, restaurants, apartments, it doesn't matter. there's sprinklers, systems, fire protection systems in every single building. So there's companies that have to install, maintain, repair, inspect these systems. There's going to be companies out there. Look for apprenticeships with those companies in your area. Now, the route I personally would take and I would look for, especially if you live in a bigger city, is the UA apprenticeship, the United Association's Union Apprenticeship for Sprinkler Fitters. The UA is a union that is basically the pipe trade union. Now, they do pipe fitters, steam fitters, boiler makers, they do plumbers. They're a trade union that's responsible for a lot of the pipe trades. And the cool thing that I realized about becoming a sprinkler fitter is you're kind of a niche trade that kind of dabbles in a little bit of all of it. So between fitting metal pipes together, pumps, wiring up these pumps, wiring up and fitting all of a fire protection system through sprinkler fitters, you're doing a little pipe fitting, you're doing a little bit of plumbing, you might be doing a little bit of electrical work. You're doing a little bit of everything. And if you're good with your hands and you like putting parts together and doing like more specific, now, it doesn't seem like it's the most labor intensive job. So if you're not like looking for a very labor intensive job, but still be able to be a very important part of, your community, or find a great career that's quite literally essential to save lives and save buildings catching on fire, becoming a sprinkler fitter is a great option. Now, I'll have a link in the description below where you can go check out the UA Sprinkler Fitter Apprenticeship, and you can go learn a lot more about what that apprenticeship has to offer and how you might be able to get started if there is a United Association Union Hall or apprenticeship opportunity near you. That's what I would tell you for as far as getting into the apprenticeship. You can look for a non-union, just look up a fire protection company near you and see if they offer any sort of apprenticeship. And maybe they don't, but maybe they have some sort of program where you can get in there and start learning and become a sprinkler fitter or whatever kind of work they have in their fire protection industry. My piece of advice would just go through a union apprenticeship if you're able to. Great learning. You'll earn college credits towards getting like an applied science degree if you want to. Paid on the job learning. You're going to have in-class learning. A union apprenticeship is great. I went through a union apprenticeship for the lineman trade, and I wouldn't have wanted to do it any other differently. In my opinion, a must. However, depending on how you feel in unions, whether you're pro-union or not union, it doesn't matter. They provide great training, a great education, and really good benefits and pay. That leads me into step number 5. And step number 5 is getting just experience and becoming a journeyman or master in the sprinkler fitter trade. Apprenticeship for a sprinkler fitter is around 4, 5 to 6 years, depending, of course, location, who you're working for, what company. There's a lot of kind of differentiating factors, variables that you have to think about. In the UA, I think they say it's a 5-year apprenticeship based off hours. Like most other union apprenticeships, you're gonna have to get hours in certain categories, probably on sprinklers themselves, on fire extinguishers, installing and maintaining, repairing different systems. Anyway, getting experience in the apprenticeship as a sprinkler fitter apprentice, and then completing that apprenticeship, becoming a journeyman sprinkler fitter, and then working X amount of years as a journeyman sprinkler fitter on fire protection systems, just really getting experience as you can. If you're young, like I was when I completed the journeyman or the lineman apprenticeship, I was able to complete the apprenticeship, become a journeyman, and then go travel around different parts of the United States. I still do, just not as much anymore now that I'm married. I don't travel as much, but when the opportunity was there, I was able to travel to different states and work in different locals and just experience different parts of the country and how line work was done. It's no different in any other trade. Sprinkler fitters, it's the same way. If you want to become a sprinkler fitter, you become a journeyman, you'll have the opportunity to be able to travel as a journeyman. If you want to work in Washington, or you want to work in New York, or you want to work in Colorado, sprinkler systems are everywhere. And there's always a need for a sprinkler fitter to install, maintain, rebuild, and repair those sprinkler systems throughout every single building that you look at. Now, you also may be wondering, well, as a sprinkler fitter, what kind of money can I make? Now, I say you make 6 figures. And according to the internet, we look at what a sprinkler fitter can make. And According to salary.com, the average wage for a union sprinkler fitter in the US is around $28.18 per hour, with most workers earning between $20.91 and $35.34 hourly. However, these wages can vary depending on location and experience and union contracts. On the higher end, union sprinkler fitters in states like New Jersey and New York can make over $50 an hour, with some earnings annual salaries exceeding $100,000 a year. Now, the highest reported wages are found in regions such as New Jersey, where fitters can earn as much as $54.92 per hour, and California, where some workers make approximately $55,000 annually, according to salary.com. Now, I still don't believe these numbers on the internet, because I think if you talk to someone in any trade, the internet always says, oh yeah, the average this is $60,000 a year. But you talk to somebody, a journeyman or someone who's been in that trade, they say, heck no, I make $150,000 a year. Lineman trade's like no different. You look up the average salary for a lineman, it's like $68,000 a year. I don't know a lineman making $68,000 a year. They all clear six figures working 6 months plus a year. Like, it's easy, not easy money, but you make a lot of money out there. Sprinkler fitters, it's no different. From what my dad was telling me, he's a union pipe fitter, and he was also saying the sprinkler fitters, they're working all the time. He says they're working overtime. He says those guys for sure, the journeyman sprinkler fitters there for sure make over six figures a year. So, and he said it's very easy work. It's not backbreaking work. They're just installing pipes and stuff for sprinkler systems. And he says it's like, honestly, he said if he would redo it, he might become a sprinkler fitter because it's such a great career opportunity. However, if you look at the Davis-Bacon Act, the DBA, they set a prevailing wage for construction workers, including sprinkler fitters, on federally funded projects across the US. These wages rates vary widely by state and county based on local surveys of wages for similar work. For sprinkler fitters, the Davis-Bacon wage rates can range from around $20 to $60 per hour. That's a pretty big gap. Now, depending on location and project type, of course. For example, in southwestern Arizona, like where I'm at, wage rates for related classifications can fall within this range. In other states with higher cost of living, such as California or New York, rates can be on the higher end, particularly for unionized positions, sometimes exceeding $60 per hour when factoring fringe benefits, according to SAM.gov, the DOL. Now, yes, you have to factor in the fringe benefits plus the hourly rate. You also got to think about is the per diem and things like that. So there's a lot of factors that can predict or differentiate the wage or salary you can make as a sprinkler fitter. Yes, there's great money. This is a great career. There's work for sprinkler fitters anywhere you go. This leads me into step number 6. Ideally, if you want to become a business owner or become an entrepreneur, become your own boss, people always kind of wonder hey, I want to be a businessman or I want to be an entrepreneur. But you ask them, well, what do you want to be a business owner in? And they don't know. They're just going to go to college to get a business degree, but they don't know what kind of business they want to run. Let me tell you, there's great opportunity out there to be a business owner in the skilled trade. And the best way to do it is to get into a trade, complete an apprenticeship, get a handful of years as a journeyman or master in that trade, and start your own business. I've known countless people that do that, and they're very, very successful in it. This is where you can make a lot of money. It also can lose a lot of money because business is not exactly very easy. So sprinkler fitters, very common, where they can become a journeyman and master. They get a lot of time in under the belts to get the proper classifications, certifications, licenses in the states, in the area, in the county, city where they want to work and live, and they can start their own sprinkler fitting company or a fire protection company where they do inspections or they install or they repair or they do upgrading or retrofitting old systems up to new compliance codes. There's a lot of different avenues you can go down when it comes to fire protection. However, you become a sprinkler fitter, you want to start your own business, you do so, you name your business Fire Protection LLC. Business is not easy. I will tell you this right off the bat because I know a lot of people who do business. They have their own skilled trade company, whether that's plumbing, electrical, HVAC, or construction. Doesn't really matter. But you start your own fire protection LLC and you get the boots off the ground. You start working and you realize, holy crap, this isn't easy as I thought. However, there are resources out there that are readily available for you as a business owner to be successful. You can use a software agency like InspectPoint. Now, InspectPoint is a cloud-based fire protection solution serving alarm systems, sprinklers, or extinguisher professionals in day-to-day operations. For a guy like you starting your own business, this is a software for you. Now, InspectPoint gives fire professionals like you the tools you need to scale your business, increase your profits, ensure compliance codes, and focus on what you care about most, which is the safety of the people in the building that you serve. So InspectPoint is a software that you can use to help grow your business and become a successful entrepreneur. This is how you can start a business and become a successful business: is get into a skilled trade, complete an apprenticeship, get the hours, get the experience, get the appropriate certifications, licenses for your area, and go to town, become a successful entrepreneur, and live the American dream. So those are the 6 steps to, well, technically 5 steps to becoming a sprinkler fitter. Now, I'm telling you right now, there's opportunity out there right now. Go ahead and search it. Look up the UA, look up fire protection services in your area, ask them if they have apprenticeship opportunities. You want to become a sprinkler fitter. You want to become an important asset when it comes to protecting people's lives and their property. Hopefully you can learn from this video what a sprinkler fitter is, the importance of becoming a sprinkler fitter, and what sprinkler fitters do to help save lives and the property that people occupy. Blue Collar EDU, I'm here to expose, teach, educate you about blue collar career opportunities and things that'll help you get started in a skilled trade. With that being said, I'll catch you on the next one.